Hi there, and welcome to Talkin Self-Managed Super. I'm Liv Long, founder and CEO of SMSF AI, and I'm passionate about all things super. Over the past 21 years running SMSF firms, I've helped more than 10,000 trustees take control of their financial future, and I'm hoping I'll be able to help you too. Today, we deep dive into the big question, how do I set up an SMSF and take control of my financial future? The simple answer is, pay your SMSF specialist to do it. You're going to need to get one, so just get them to handle the whole thing. An SMSF expert has the setup process down pat, and you're likely to pay a far more competitive fee for the setup, as SMSF specialists establish their business, processes and procedures specifically to make running an SMSF easy. The alternative is to spend a huge amount of time researching and paying for an ASIC agent to incorporate a trusted company, a lawyer to draft all the legal documents required for the setup, a tax agent to handle the annual reporting and the tax obligations for the fund, a financial advisor to tell you whether or not to set one up and how to structure it, and finally, an independent SMSF specialist accredited auditor. Trust me when I say it's far easier to have one point of contact who you trust for all of the above than to try to work with 5 different people, which will only cost you more time and more money. To get started, the very first step is to determine your trustee structure. Now, this is one of the biggest decisions you'll need to make, and it's worthwhile obtaining advice on. If you don't seek advice, research it well. Individual versus corporate trustee structure. Now, as a tip here, without providing any personal advice, I can honestly say I am yet to see a financial advisor establish a fund for a client without a corporate trustee structure. So once you've decided on your structure, it's time to establish the fund. Now, the cheapest and quickest way is to deal with an SMSF specialist. We can establish a new fund within 24 hours. So this will involve creating a trustee, which governs the rule of the fund and all the compliance documentation required by the ATO and by law. A self-managed super fund is a form of a trust, if we talk accounting terms for a moment. So the next step, which can be anywhere from an instant result up to 28 days, is to apply for an Australian business number or ABN and a tax file number for the fund. We also elect for your SMSF to be regulated by the ATO, which is essential as you can't open a bank account or arrange any rollovers until this point. So set your expectations on 4 weeks, all things going well from start, to roll over to up to 6 weeks if there are delays. Once you receive those details, you need to open a bank account. Now, we're very particular about which banks we will work with, and if I can give you one personal tip on the setup, it's keep your SMSF bank account with a separate bank to your personal or your business account. All too often, we see trustees accidentally making a payment on their mobile phone app from the SMSF when it should have been made personally, and unfortunately that includes me. And I'll dive into episode 10, what that actually means when you do that. But once a fund receives its complying status from the ATO, it's time to open the bank account and roll over your super. Now, your SMSF needs a dedicated bank account to manage contributions, earnings and expenses. We'll guide you through choosing a bank and setting up an account that's compliant with SMSF rules. Now, before you roll over any super, please seek advice in relation to any insurance benefits you may have attached to it. So for example, if you look at a superannuation statement, you'll actually notice most funds provide life insurance or some sort of trauma insurance as a member benefit. Many people don't realise that. If you roll over all of your super, you'll lose those benefits. Now, an SMSF can pay for insurance for its members, but it's a lengthy subject, which I'll cover in later episodes. There are 2 types of rollovers. A full rollover is where you transfer all of your super balance to your new SMSF, or a partial rollover. Now, a partial rollover is where you determine an amount to roll over to your new SMSF, leaving a balance in your existing fund, which we usually see when people want to preserve their insurance benefits in their existing fund. You can actually run more than one super fund with an SMSF. So 2 super funds can continue to operate at the same time. A rollover is initiated in our software and completed within 3 days, and this is where the fun begins. Your money is now in your control and you can start working on the fun part, which is investing. The ATO requires every SMSF to tailor an investment strategy designed to tailor its members' goals. Don't stress, we can help you craft a compliant, well thought out strategy that reflects your appetite for risks and desired return. So it's time for implementation. As a trustee of your fund, you are the one that needs to open any trading accounts, transfer your cash to and from your account, and either decide or seek advice about how to spend it. The good news is with an SMSF, you can appoint one or several advisors should you choose, or you can go it alone. Want to invest in property, shares, or even Bitcoin? Your SMSF gives you the freedom to do it as long as you stay within the rules. Now from here, your fund has annual reporting obligations to the ATO, and there are compliance requirements, such as a fund audit. So make sure you're working with a reputable, experienced specialist. There are a number of cheap SMSF operators out there, and trust me when I tell you this, if you sign up with one, they won't even give you a phone number to call when you need help, let alone provide you with the service and hand-holding you will need in your new trustee role. If there's one thing to note when it comes to the management of your self-managed super, and that's you get what you pay for. And if there's one area in life where you shouldn't be cheap, it's your financial future. Thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to hit subscribe and follow us for updates. See you in the next episode of Talkin Self-Managed Super, where it's vital you hear our tips to consider before arranging a rollover to your new self-managed super fund. Until next time, take care and take control.